Hey, well, welcome back to my podcast. And I have been absent for a little while, so I'm back. So yeah, I took about, I don't know, 6 months. I've been working on other things, my art, school and whatnot. But I wanted to get back and do a little podcast, little sharing on the words be still and know that I'm God. It is one of my favorite scriptures. It is in Psalm 46:10. And the words be still are actually one Hebrew word. It is H7503, if you care to know the Strong's number to that word. But it comes up in this amazing account of winged creatures in the presence of God. And I am going to be exploring that today. So I want to read here in Psalm 46:10, and it says, "Be still and know that I am God." And this word "be still," it is the Hebrew word rapha, and it means to relax. It's not just be still, like, oh, I'm still, I'm not moving, but I'm all uptight, I'm all tense. But it actually means to relax. And I want to show you where it comes up in Ezekiel, in a vision that Ezekiel had. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself. A brightness was about it, and out of the midst there was the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also, out of the midst there came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled with the color of burnished brass. And so he goes on and he talks about them and how they're these winged creatures. And it says in verse 20, whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went. And then they had these wheels as well. I mean, it was quite this vision. But what I want to get to is down in verse 22. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of the great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of a host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, and they stood and let down their wings. So Ezekiel's watching this scene, and he sees these winged creatures flapping around, flying all over the place, and hearing all of the sound, the voice of their wings, the sound of great waters, the voice of the Almighty, and then this heavenly host, this angel army, he hears that. All of this commotion as they're flying. And then it says, but they let down their wings. They let down their wings. All that noise, all that sound, all that flapping, all that stuff, it just went silent. They just relaxed those wings, the wings that are just doing so much. They're just flapping and making noise, and they're working, and that was part of their job. I mean, these winged creatures, I think they come up in Revelation. They show up again. They're probably actually created creatures that God has made that worship him in the throne room. But they're flapping all over the place. But then they let their wings down before the presence of God. And over their heads comes the voice of the Almighty. Over their heads comes God's voice. And when you pair that with be still and know that I'm God, we have a lot of commotion in our lives. There's a lot of noise. And you know what? We might be doing things for him. It might be part of our service, part of our worship, part of our stuff. It's what we do. It's our work, it's our thought, it's our creativity, it's our stuff. We're doing it. And it makes a lot of noise, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But he says, that's all good. But he says there's a time when we let our wings down, when we just come and stand in his presence, and we know that he is God. We know that that he is there, that he is present, and we hear his voice. We can hear his voice because it's hard to hear God's voice when there's a lot going on. There's a lot of noise, a lot of chatter. And some of it's coming from us, like our wings. We're just beating our wings all over the place. But anyway, what it says to me is that there are times when we just need to come before the presence of God, and we just need to let our wings down. We need to be still. We need to relax. We need to let all that noise, all that commotion just come to a stop and come into that place where we know that he is God, and we are there. We are saying, I am here. I am listening. What are you saying? And that we become still in his presence and let go of all those other things that could be making a lot of noise. So, thanks for listening. And I just pray that you would have a day where you just come before God and put your wings down and enjoy his presence and enjoy listening to the voice of the Almighty.